Your client says,
Could you also add a dashboard and 2 extra reports before Friday?
"You want to help," so you say.
Sure, no problem.
Now you have accepted extra work without discussing time, budget, or priorities. Say this instead.
That request is outside the current scope. We can add it, but we'll need to adjust the timeline or the budget.
English Mastery Buddy. In this lesson, you'll learn how to handle scope creep clearly, politely, and professionally. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to respond professionally when a client adds more work after the project scope has already been agreed. You will use a simple 5-step structure called scope. Maya is managing a client project. Her team has agreed to deliver a presentation and a short performance report on Friday. The timeline is tight, but the work is under control. On Wednesday afternoon, the client, Sarah, joins a video call.
The presentation looks good. Could you also add a dashboard and 2 extra reports before Friday?
Maya wants to be helpful. She immediately says.
Sure, no problem.
After the call, Maya looks at the task list. The extra work will take at least 2 more days. If she tries to finish everything by Friday, the original presentation may also be late. This situation is called scope creep. Scope creep happens when new work is added after the original project scope has already been agreed. The new request may sound small, but it can affect the timeline, budget, workload, or quality. Professional communication makes that impact visible before the team starts the extra work. Step 1. Spot the change. First, clearly identify that the client is asking for something new. You can say, "That request is outside the current scope." Or, "That would be an additional deliverable." These sentences are factual. They do not blame the client. They simply separate the original agreement from the new request. Avoid saying, "That is not our job." That sounds defensive. Repeat, "That request is outside the current scope." Step 2. Clarify exactly what the client wants. Do not start extra work based on an assumption. Ask, "Just to clarify, would you like the dashboard and both reports included in this Friday's delivery?" This question confirms the exact output, the quantity, and the expected deadline. You can also ask, "Which of the 2 reports is the higher priority?" Or, "Does the dashboard need live data, or is a static version enough?" A clear question can reduce hours of unnecessary work. Step 3. Outline the impact. The client needs to understand what will change if the new work is added. Be specific. Say, "Adding those items would require 2 more working days." Or, "Including the dashboard would affect the current Friday deadline." You can also explain the impact on another task. If we prioritize the new reports, we will need to move the presentation review to Monday. Avoid vague statements such as, "This is difficult," or, "We are very busy." Explain the business impact, not only your feelings. Repeat, "Adding those items would require 2 more working days." Step 4. Present 2 realistic options. Do not leave the client with only a problem. Give them a clear decision. Maya can say,
We can keep the Friday deadline and move the dashboard and reports to phase 2. Or we can include everything and move the full delivery to Tuesday. Which option would you prefer?
Notice the structure. Option 1 protects the current deadline. Option 2 includes the extra work but changes the schedule. You can also offer a budget option. We can include the extra work within the current timeline if we add another team member, which would increase the cost. Good options make the trade-off visible. They allow the client to choose based on business priorities. Step 5. End with a clear confirmation. After the client chooses an option, repeat the new plan. Say, "Let me confirm the updated plan."
We'll deliver the original presentation on Friday, and we'll add the dashboard and 2 reports next Tuesday.
Then confirm the owner.
I'll update the project plan and send it to you after this call.
A short written confirmation prevents the same discussion from happening again later. Now listen to the complete conversation.
Could you also add a dashboard and 2 extra reports before Friday? That request is outside the current scope. Just to clarify, would you like the dashboard and both reports included in this Friday's delivery? Yes, if possible. Adding those items would require 2 more working days. We can keep the Friday deadline and move the extra items to phase 2, or include everything and move the full delivery to Tuesday. Which option would you prefer?
Sarah thinks for a moment.
Keep the presentation on Friday. We can receive the dashboard and reports on Tuesday. Let me confirm the updated plan. We'll deliver the original presentation on Friday and the additional dashboard and reports next Tuesday. I'll send you the updated plan after this call.
Sarah now knows exactly what the team will deliver and when. Let's practice. Your team agreed to create 5 website pages. The client now asks for 3 additional pages without changing the deadline. What should you say? Your turn. A professional answer is, "The 3 additional pages are outside the current scope. We can include them, but we'll need to extend the timeline by 3 days or reduce the number of revisions." Which option would you prefer? Here is another situation. Your contract includes 1 monthly report. The client now asks for a detailed report every week. How would you respond? Your turn. You could say, "Weekly reporting would be an additional deliverable. We can add it, but we'll need to review the workload and budget. Would you like us to prepare a revised estimate?" Avoid these 3 mistakes. Mistake 1, saying yes immediately. Sure, no problem. This hides the real impact until the team is already under pressure. Mistake 2, sounding defensive. That is not in the contract. The fact may be correct, but the tone can damage the relationship. Mistake 3, explaining the problem without offering options. We do not have enough time. A professional response should also show the client what can be done next. Final challenge. Your team agreed to deliver a training presentation on Thursday. On Tuesday, the client asks you to add a workbook, a quiz, and a second training session. The client still wants everything by Thursday. Respond professionally. Your answer should identify the additional scope, clarify the request, explain the impact, offer 2 options, and confirm the next step. Your turn. Speak now. Here is one professional answer. The workbook, quiz, and second training session are outside the current scope. Just to clarify, would you like all 3 included in this Thursday's delivery? Adding them would require 3 more working days. We can deliver the original presentation on Thursday, and provide the additional materials next Tuesday, or we can move the full delivery to Tuesday. Which option would you prefer? If your answer made the impact and options clear, you completed the task. Remember the scope structure. Spot the change. Clarify the request. Outline the impact. Present options. End with confirmation. Which type of scope creep do you hear most often? Extra features, extra reports, or a shorter deadline? Write your answer below.